Hey.
Good. Hey, Robin.
Jack.
We're the Inwits.
We are.
Back. Oh, hold on a second.
What?
I forgot my buff.
Yeah.
Jesus. I'm going to put the buff live on. Okay, we're back. All right, we're here. We're the Inwits. I'm good. I'm naked. I'm good. Now
he's dressed.
Covered. All right, let's do this. On with the next 3 episodes.
Kind of feels like one episode, though.
It's interesting. It's...
Like once I've watched all 3, even though I make notes for each one, right?
Yeah.
At the end, it sort of just ends up being like one episode because
it's a one big 3-hour,
Yeah.
like almost 3-hour episode, which I don't mind. I don't mind how seamlessly it does seem like a single episode spread over 3 days.
Still spread out way too much, but anyway.
Okay.
We've talked about that.
Yeah, we're not allowed to talk. Okay, so we're not allowed to talk about the editing.
Nope.
However, I did want to say, what was it? Sunday or Monday's episode, we didn't get a flashback, and I'm like, we've got rid of them, except last night we got a flashback.
Exactly. Right.
Last night we got a bit of backstory. I'm like, I thought we were done with the backstories. Good on that.
Well, the thing is, we've gotten rid of 6 people who can have backstories now.
Yeah, but some of them, talking about Sam in particular, never got a single confessional, chat to camera, or a backstory.
That's true, actually.
She got nothing. She was no one-on-ones.
I wonder if that means that there's some sort of picking going on there.
Maybe it's just it isn't interesting enough.
No, maybe they're only going to do the backstories for the people they already know are going to make.
They're going to go further. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, they'll get them all, but then whoever's going to get a bit further on, they have the full backstory fleshed out.
Yeah.
But Sarah had a fair amount of Black's backstory as well.
And she's gone.
So we're not allowed to talk about editing.
No.
We're not allowed to talk about how awesome the challenges are.
Why not?
Because they're bloody awesome, aren't they? I love the fact that I can still be surprised.
Absolutely. I thought they were great challenges.
No, I loved them.
Yeah.
But I was like, it's going to be repetitive. We're just going to always talk about how great the challenges is. Which one was your favourite this week?
Well, to tell you the truth, I kind of liked, the one where they had to hold the things was okay, right?
The squat.
Yeah.
It's...
But the one with what I liked about the one where, you had to be in the water.
I loved the the one how how they were burying, like basically drowning each other.
But what I liked about that is, in other Survivor games where you have teammates in cages or whatever, they just sit there passively and don't really do anything until somebody arrives, right?
Yeah.
In this one, they actually they're the centre. Like, the longer they can hold on...
Yeah, they're the key.
They're the key.
Linchpin of the whole thing.
That's right. I thought that was a really good twist. I liked it a lot.
I loved the swimming in the rapids concept.
Yeah. Swimming in the rapids was great.
Like, that was cool. We just block it off and you got to stay in this spot. The stamina. No one was very good at it.
Well, Ross was.
Ross was great.
Yeah, Ross
You'd expect so. He's used to swimming in rivers.
Well,
You'd feel like Ross should be good at it.
That's right.
But God, did I love that.
Absolutely.
I loved a lot of these challenges. Just so I guess we got to get rid of that.
Well, look, the other thing is that, swimming is very physical.
Yeah. Very
physical. But you've also got to have timing.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's like, here's the thing. Janine had it all under control because she expended her energy to stay. No, just sit there, do what Andy did, and
Andy was fantastic,
and just find your pace and your rhythm that you're not going to move. Don't burn your energy to stay at the front.
That's right.
If it sits you here and you're midway, just stay there.
That's right.
And and that was interesting to watch her burn her energy and then just, and she was done.
That's right.
Loved it. Loved that challenge so much.
Yeah, that was great. No, I enjoyed it. I hope they.
Yeah, I want to see that again. I want to see that one again. That was great. That was a really awesome challenge.
They don't tend to use rivers in American Survivor. I don't know why.
Yeah, that's true.
They use the sea.
The ocean, yeah.
So kudos to Australian Survivor for branching out to new geographies.
Yeah, we're doing great. They're just so good with the challenges.
They are. Look, all the challenges are really good.
Yeah, I can't fault our
challenges. I don't know who's doing their challenge. There must be some sort of production team in charge of the challenges and making them up and that, right? They're really good. I think the Americans should poach them.
Well, the Americans are poaching some elements. They are slowly poaching them.
Yeah. They should poach. No, I mean they should go and poach that team.
Just take the team. No, don't take the team. We need something that really sets us apart as a survivor.
I think as the Americans are, I'd be like, give us that team.
Yeah.
We'll just give. Here's $1 squillion. Go make some new. True. That'd be awesome.
It's great.
Yeah.
Love it.
Okay.
Now do we go into gameplay and I guess we have to. We have to talk about what little strategy there is flying about.
Well, I don't know.
Who are you starting with? Who do you want to start with, Jackie?
Well, I would like to start with episode 6 because that's pre-merge or pre-split up, right?
Yeah.
But look, the only thing to really talk about in that whole episode was Dave became pretty arrogant.
Well, look, we know, I don't know if
he's aware of this, but he said, that blew my game up. the merge, right? But in the episode prior to merge, I think Janine, Pia, and Abby all were starting to think about punching his card.
And this is the problem I have. Yep. Okay, so Dave is what Survivor Australia has needed, a villain.
Yes, exactly.
He's a villain.
That's right.
And he's the only
not quite
person
really villainous, but he's getting there.
Exactly. He's doing elements. We have not seen anyone swap a real idol for a fake idol before that I can remember. Yeah. Great. Gonna probably hurt you in the long run. But I love what he's trying to do.
But think about it. He knows it's going to hurt him in the long run. Maybe, right? If Sean ends up going out,
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, right?
It doesn't matter. But so I love that. I love that way. He's like, well, I want to get my hand in all these pies that he was talking about. Love that he pulled off this real sneaky, real move.
Yep.
And he is, because we've had Andy since day one saying, I'm the super fan, I'm the villain. Which I have a lot of ranting about Andy, which we'll come to. But we get Dave.
And look, Andy for me is one of those players you often see them on American Survivor, right? Who will come on and go, I'm a super fan, and they'll even be able to tell you all the strategies, right? And then you will watch them be able to talk the talk, but never walk the wall.
Yeah.
They never walk the wall.
The only thing I can say about Andy is he's done his practice in those certain Survivor-esque challenges. We talked about that.
Oh, he's great at the challenges.
He's great at that, and I'll give him that. But as far as a villain, he is not. And he wanted to come in.
Well, he said he was a wolf in sheep's clothing. I'm sitting there going, Andy, have a strategy.
Yeah, you have no strategy. Which we'll get into, obviously, in 7 and 8.
Exactly, yeah.
But we'll stick with 6, where Dave comes out, the episode prior, he comes out with this move. We still haven't seen yet.
But particularly in episode 6, right, he's really quite arrogant about it, you know? And open. This is the other problem. He is really open about, like, running things, right?
And this is where we know
this is the downfall.
Dave only has another 3, maximum 5 episodes left in him. He's gone through 2.
Yeah.
In episode 9, he can potentially be on the chopping block.
No, this is the thing. Like, I think if you had to stop with episode 6, right? If the split hadn't happened, but Abby, Janine, and Pia really uncomfortable with Dave's attitude.
They were. However, this is the problem. Why didn't they take a move then?
Well, no, this is the thing. I think they were. I think this is what I meant. I think in episode 6 is where you see them looking around, talking to each other, going, "There's something." He's not. You know, it's overboard.
Yeah,
right?
because he's come in and he defended Abby the first time round. Great.
Yeah.
Good. But then he's come in and done the same thing that Steve was doing to everyone, strong-arming them into doing something.
Oh yeah, but all I think is like this is where the girls started to really take notice. Like they were looking at each other. When he was talking to Simon and ET, and that's why this is after that.
Yeah, but there was that moment when they came up. And
exactly.
Went, Did you see how we talked to Simon and ET?
But even after that, in this episode, and I think they were probably thinking amongst themselves, time for him to go, right? And I don't think he realizes. That split when it came has probably actually saved his game.
Well, I also don't think he realises that I reckon he does realise he's playing with a bunch of nitwits. And
we'll get to that because
he should have gone. Because right now you had Luke and Dave, great. Then you've got the 3 girls causing a 5, and then you had the 3 over the other side. Yeah. No, then you got rid of Steve. Then you were left with 2. You're left with Simon and ET.
Yeah.
So you got 5-2. You've got 2 people with 0 power, 0 influence in the game, who actually are a competitive physical asset, but not a strategic asset in the slightest. Pia, Abby, and Janine had the perfect opportunity to take 2 numbers.
Oh, look,
to take 2 numbers.
I had a big issue with that whole vote because, like, Abby was sitting there crying about whether or not to get rid of her idol or her father, essentially.
Yeah,
right?
When it was easy to get rid of the person you were just talking about getting rid of.
Right? I was like, well, don't do either.
Or at least, if you were worried, flush his idol.
Right? But you know, one of the other concerns I have is like Luke Luke could have gone to ET and Blacky and the girls and said, "Let's get rid of Dave." Or something like that.
See,
you know,
I don't think it's I don't think Luke Luke is in partnership with Dave.
Yeah,
so I don't think
but
Luke's gameplay at the moment doesn't bother me in the slightest. But he's teamed up with a good player. Oh, they're playing well, and they've got a nice union.
But one of the problems I have here is that's an alliance of 6. So there's 3 people on the bottom. There are 2 vote. There are 2
It was 5. Alliance of 5.
No, this is alliance of 6.
Who was the 6th?
There's They keep talking about the alliance of 6.
Luke. Oh wait, are we in episode 6 or where are you going?
Episode 6.
Yeah, Luke. Who was the other one? Luke and Dave. Then you had Janine, Abby, Pia. Who's the sixth?
Oh, they called the alliance of 6. In the show, they called them.
Not in that one, no. Because then you only had Simon and ET.
Anyway.
There's 7 left.
But there's 2 votes, right? Now, if you're on the bottom of that alliance, it's Ross.
Ah, yes, Ross. Of course, you were right.
Right?
Ross, that's right. You were correct. I apologise.
I
forget about Ross, but I don't know how I forget about him. Because he's a character.
Ross is pretty much a loose cannon.
He's a loose character, but he's a character.
Yeah, no, great character. I really love him, actually, right? He's the sort of guy like...
So, have a couple of drinks.
But all I'm saying is you're down to 2. Like, you've gotten rid of their power base. They're now just 2 votes.
Yeah, and it's not 2 votes that are... they don't know the game.
Exactly.
So they're 2 votes that are so much more important than a single vote.
And at this stage, Janine, Pia and Abby could have gone, let's grab Ross or... Well, we don't even need Ross. We'll just grab Simon and ET, right? Or, maybe it's time... and this is the other thing I've got a bit of a problem with. Dave and Luke, even if they are on top of the ladder in that alliance... They should be sitting there and saying, well, maybe it's time to get rid of one of our alliance members
because they could turn on us.
Exactly.
This is something that isn't being thought about.
I know.
There is only one strategy and not multiple strategies.
The ET vote to me was pretty much a default vote. One of those votes you have when you don't really want to vote.
Yeah, it's again people who think they know. Because Pia says she's a fan of the game, and I believe she's watched the show. I believe Andy's watched the show. I believe Chris has watched the show. I believe a lot of these people have watched the show. Oh, Sean, sorry. I believe they've watched the show.
So somebody in that group, in that alliance, who of 6, should have sat there and gone, we're the bottom 3. Let's go grab Blacky and ET and let's shake it up.
And that was the 3 girls. Not that they were the bottom.
Well, it could even be the 2 guys.
I know, but they're on top, so they should be thinking about that. But you've seen how comfortable Dave was, and that's why it was so easy for Pia, Janine, and Abby to grab those 2 free votes.
Oh, exactly.
To grab free votes because right now you have someone who has 120% confidence in his game.
Exactly. Even if they keep Ross, it's 5-3. See you later, Dave.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. No. It did not matter, or it would have been a flushed idol and it would have failed. The attempt would have failed, and ET would have gone home. Big deal. What's the problem? You still would have. Right. You would have either flushed an idol. You would have made someone who thought he was invincible realize he isn't, or you would have made someone who was invincible go home.
Exactly.
Because that's when they're the most vulnerable. As soon as they start thinking, "I am running the game," they're blinded.
So the problem I have with Janine, Abby and Pia is this. They seem to just go, whatever the structure is, they're going to stick with it.
It's fear to make a move.
It is.
And that was such an easy move to make.
And that was the easiest of moves. You've got 2 votes. Simon and ET are both saying to everybody who'd listen,
we're loyal votes. We just want to play the game. We just want to stick around.
We're 2 votes you can have, essentially.
It blew my mind.
Picked it up.
It blew my mind.
I was like, Luke, you've played before. You should be onto this, something like that.
But that's the thing. You should be. And season 2 of Australian Survivor was a very great season of Survivor in general. We know this, as far as some gameplay and stuff goes.
Yeah.
But we just see weaker strategic gameplay, and maybe that's casting at the moment. We need to cast people who actually have.
Well, I think
strategic.
The reason I really wanted to talk about this was then to contrast what happens after the split, right? Because I think it's the exact
with those
opposite.
3 girls.
Well, no, with Dave and Luke.
Well, I know. I think it's the exact same.
No, I think it's the opposite but we'll get into that, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, that's all I really got out of that episode.
Yeah, again, yes, the same thing as there was, and I don't mind that. I'm glad Dave's still around. I like him, and he's a great.
I don't want Dave to go home,
but
I want him to make it to the end and be complete utter villain at the end.
Yeah, I want him to go. I'd love him and Luke to make it to the end.
So would I.
Would not mind that at all. But the problem I have is that someone who had so much control there was quite an easy move to flip that control. And it wasn't taken.
Exactly.
And it's a frustrating thing from a fan. And we break down this strategy. We talk about it a lot. From a fan of that side of the gameplay, just not seeing it is frustrating. And then that's why I'm saying, to me, it then becomes frustrating again, because I see it again from a super fan who does the exact same thing. Yes, great that John and Daisy did it, but John and Daisy had a bit of an open mind to kind of go there. But at the same time, the super fan who has claimed he was a villain, then started preaching how flawless and amazing his strategy is. Oh.
I know. Look.
Oh.
But anyway, look, let's move on to the next episode, right?
Okay.
The first thing in the next episode is Sean tells Andy about his idol. Doesn't even say the normal thing, which is, I know I shouldn't do this. So he's obviously not. He's obviously pretty much not watched the show.
No, but he has watched the show. He's actually talked how much he's watched the show, and he makes his partner watch the show with him.
In which case, the old line came out, didn't it? I'm going to build trust. And I'm like, no, you're just going to give Andy the opportunity to turn on you.
And Andy's just... And we say... And it came up
and
in
Andy
episode
then comes out, I'm a wolf, thanks for telling me. Basically.
Yeah, but and we talk about knowledge is power, and, and you need to know how to use your power, and he clearly doesn't. He has no clue.
Andy didn't really know how to use that, right?
Well, he doesn't know how to use any bit of information to an advantage, does he?
Exactly.
He's screwed that up twice, and he's so lucky to be in this game.
Yeah. Oh, look, the other thing...
he's luckier than Dave to be in this game.
At least when the tribe split happened, right? Do you want to say anything about the split? I don't really. I want to move past it.
No, it was the split. It's just the standard. But right? you got to... Well, all I want to say is... You got to expect a shake-up. There is always a tribe mix. Well, you got to expect that in this game so far.
When you've got 24 people playing the game, which, by the way, I still disagree with. There's 6 more people than there should be, right? With 24 people in the game, you better change it up after 6 episodes, right?
Yeah, but it happens in regular Survivor. It happens in all Survivors. There's always a mix. And if you're not thinking... Like, this is the thing, like...
No, but what I mean is they've just gotten down to normal Survivor numbers, 18.
Yeah.
Right?
And we're mixing it up now.
And we're mixing it up
And there'll probably be another mix before we get to merge.
Probably.
You know?
Right?
Or a massive merge.
Or something. There'll be a twist, right?
But this is something like that. That's all I want to say about that. As a player, you need to be thinking about what could happen if. It seemed like none of them really expected it.
I know, right?
It's like, this is Survivor. You need to expect everything. You need to expect the tribes can be mixed up at any given time.
Look, there's not really a lot they can do about it except for, the couple of people who have joined, and it's only been the last 2 episodes, I think, where they've joined the other tribe for a reward. They're the only people who really has had a chance to build any bridges. Like Luke, I think, went once.
Yeah.
But anyway, look, I did enjoy, over on the... I don't even know which ones they are now.
Contenders,
I think, is where...
Because we haven't seen much
Janine
Contenders.
And
Yeah, that's Contenders.
Yeah. Harry did do a good thing. He did
older Harry Fairplay.
Yeah. Well, it's not quite Fairplay.
It's not a Fairplay move, but it's in the realm, isn't it?
It's in the realm.
I've
got a kid, Oscar. She lives in Chicago. I'm like,
3-year-old kid, my partner.
And it's worked. There. He's got the girls.
Well, it worked that episode, but then the next episode you see Harry seemed to be well and truly on the outs.
Well, they're picking his name, so it didn't work well enough. But all I want to say, though, was whether it worked or not, at least he tried something. It wasn't just dismally sitting there and waiting for the action.
And you know what? Because Harry also came in saying, I'm going to be a bit of a villain.
I know.
I'm going to be a scallywag. I know the game. I know strategy. I have more respect for Harry than I do for Andy.
I don't, because... For both of them, because there's one way... Neither one seems to be capable of doing it, or if they are, they're just not doing it. You don't sit in a tribe like Harry and Andy and let the status quo go on if you know you're on the bottom.
No,
at one stage, you've got to find...
Harry went and found an island.
Oh, no. Thank God for that. At least Harry's done something. Andy didn't even do that. But look, I think from Andy's point of view... Well, first let's talk about Harry. I think there's a difference in Andy's case.
Yeah.
But Harry's just sitting there going, well, there's 4 of us on the bottom, I better get him with the other lot. Right?
And I don't mind that.
I don't mind.
He instantly went, I need to build bridges, and I loved his lie to get him in.
I did too, but there's another element to this gameplay, and that is, you've got to create some chaos. You can't afford to let that alliance of 5 just sit there.
I know. You can't just be charming and build your way in. And you also have the other element of, if you run this story about having a kid, we haven't seen this before, and I hope he has.
Yeah.
But the rest of the old tribe needs to have heard that story before.
Yeah, exactly.
They need to know that. You can't just come up with that nowhere, because it's a weird.
Because if they meet them and then go, oh, Harry, what about Harry's kid? And they go,
gee, he never told us about the kid.
What kid?
Yeah, never told us.
Right.
So we never saw any of that. Hopefully, he did continue on with that strategy.
But no,
in the early
I'm just
game.
saying from Matt. Look, Harry's hasn't got a lot to work with. Matt is just, I think he's just so wrapped up in tribal sort of dominance, right? I don't think Matt's really paying attention to the fact that he's bottom 4.
Yeah.
He doesn't know anything.
And Matt is obnoxious.
Well, no, he isn't.
He's annoying.
I think, let's put it this way. We know pro wrestling is actually acting.
Yeah, that's fair.
He's carried his character over.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, fair. That's
That's
fair.
what he's done.
Yeah, fair.
You know, that sort of stuff plays to the audience.
But
That's
I just feel like if I was Harry, I'd be trying to push Matt under the bus here.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, that's all I'm saying is he's an easier one because he's outspoken. He's like really going, rah, I'm the best.
He's
beating his chest every day.
What I mean from Harry's point of view is he needs to find something which is some seed of conflict between Ross or Abby and Janine or Abby and Pete. Something that's going to create, just like it has on the Contenders side, right? And this is why I think.
Well, he also, like...
he needs them feuding rather than picking them
That's
up.
how it happened prior in the Sporting Alliance when Ross didn't and Abby didn't really care. Like, Ross is a wild card. You should pick up on that and just get to know him, and he'll kind of go with the flow. Ross just wants to have a bit of fun, and if you can have fun with him, knowing your audience, we talk about that. Know who your people are, and try and go towards that and find that gap.
But on that side, all you've got Harry, you've got Matt, and the two girls,
Hannah and.
I can't remember, but anyway.
I was actually talking to a mate. I'm like, the casting in this, there is so much purple edits, like that whatever they call purple edits, they're just vanilla people. We're not seeing anything of them.
I know.
And it's because we've pushed strength and challenge beasts, and then nobody else. Like, where's our strategic masterminds? We don't have that, and they can usually shine to the front there. But we've got so many vanilla people that just float through.
I think like Dave's pretty good.
Okay, we've got Dave.
I mean, he's got flaws.
100%. But Dave's our only one who's really strategic.
I know, Andy,
Luke,
like I said,
Andy, I give Andy...
Andy talks, but doesn't do.
Andy, I had high hopes for. But
so did I.
Because I did believe he was a super fan.
Exactly, all right?
We don't really have much information on the Contenders tribe at the moment because they haven't gone... Two tribes they haven't gone to now. But we just... Yeah. Well, we kind of see Harry try and make a move make some inroads in the first episode. And the next episode, we all of a sudden see, like, because I thought that made him a bit safer, but then all of a sudden he was on the bottom with Hannah, I think. Yeah, but he found the idol.
I really just wanted to talk about him to get Contenders out of the way because pretty much that's the end of it. There's nothing.
It's just really Harry, isn't it?
It's just
Harry trying to get in with his lie, which I don't mind. I like his little fair play move, and then him finding an idol.
But he needs chaos. And he needs it amongst. He needs the old champions. He needs to find opponent contention for them.
Yeah,
you can get them looking at each other. Because at the moment they're just going to pick them off,
and unfortunately, that's the way this game works.
Well, unfortunately,
we are aiming for numbers. It's a numbers game.
From what we've seen of Pia, Abby, and Janine, once there's a power structure in place, they're quite happy to stay with it, right? Because they had their opportunity with Simon and ET, they didn't take it.
And it was a perfect opportunity.
And I think they're going to do exactly the same thing here. It's like keep Ross on board, right, and pick these other people off. That's what they're going to do.
Because I actually don't mind now in the other side with these three. The three girls are tight. I think think they can keep going with the numbers and stay if they can stay in control. But I would like the three girls to bring in the two other girls on the other tribe to bring them under the wing and start the girl alliance.
The three girls is this. Let's say they pick out Harry next time. Let's say they go to the tribal next time and they pick off Harry,
Matt,
and then you've got the two girls, right?
And Sean,
right? But at some point, Ross has got to sit there and go, this isn't going to work out for me.
Yeah, but I don't think...
There's a threesome. I'm not going anywhere with these people because no matter how... Even if I make it to 8, these people are going to get rid of me.
Do we think Ross would think like that?
No. Unfortunately, right? But that's what I mean. Like, unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be the... Apart from Harry, nobody else in that tribe seems to be thinking about how do we break this threesome up. Mm-hmm. And that's the power in that of the champions over there. Anyway, now we can move over to... Champions.
Now we're all the kind of meatiness of the two. The next two episodes
absolutely right. 7-2, right? I'm sitting there going, "Oh God, no! I'm going to lose Dave or Luke, one or the other."
Well, I didn't think we'd ever lose any of them this time around because, like they said straight away, it's like whatever happens, we're both packing heat. They'll just come in, drop the idol, and they can change it for one vote.
This is what I'm thinking. Oh no, we're going to lose one or the other, right? But I know they got idols, but they have to play them.
They'd have to play them,
right?
And part of me is like, look, if they're not going to get any inroads,
and I know
easy.
arrogance I know Dave's in an arrogant place, right?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, this could be really dangerous because his own arrogance could blind him here.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Right? But this is why I want to contrast the difference between the old champions and this is right.
Yeah.
What did Dave and Luke do when they land on that beach?
They went, we are in a terrible situation.
And what did they do? Did they worry about what they'd done?
No.
No, what did they do? They went and talked to everybody.
Yeah, firstly, they just went, look, if worst comes to worst, we've both got idols, we play them. But let's try and get our social game happening. Let's see if we can find something.
But how often do you see people land on a new beach like this and they don't do this? It's an amazing occurrence in Survivor.
And it was great. It was great because I would go off and talk to every single person.
Exactly.
You would go off to talk to every single person as well. We both talked to everyone. So Luke and Dave each talked to everyone individually.
They played really well. That was perfect. On the bit, okay. And they even made a bit of a joke about, oh yeah, you know, we're having conversations with, you know,
you've got to do it.
But we've got to do it. And everybody was like, yeah, you got to do it, right?
And you know what? It started off going, and they were all 7 strong. They were all 7 strong, but then obviously it takes one person,
right?
Which is Andy, to blab about something and upset someone.
But this is what I mean, like, but they did the right thing. Dave and Luke have done the right thing. They've laid the groundwork.
Yeah.
They have laid the ground, even though they've been knocked back.
Yeah.
They've laid the groundwork so the other people, when other things happen, considering, hang on, what about Andy and Luke? You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're a couple of numbers. We're just ready to go.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
They did the groundwork, even though they weren't in danger, as you said.
They weren't in danger, but obviously
they want to keep their idols, right?
Well, here's the thing. Luke says, like, we've got our idols, but I'd like to keep it till merge.
Yeah.
That's something I don't like hearing.
No, it's not something I want to hear either.
But the concept of, if they both blew both their idols right then and there, the next week it's still 6 versus 2.
Well,
you've got a couple more days, but there is a chance that you could be...
The idols come back. Look,
the idols will come back.
There is another strategy. I'm not sure if they would have gone there, right? But another strategy they could have tried. Let's just say John and Daisy never decided to do what they did, right? And it was all just, Sam's... Yeah. Remember Sam's answer to Dave?
Yeah.
No, that's not possible.
Yeah, not possible. You're out of here. Yeah.
Right, you're out of here, right? Essentially, right?
Yeah.
Imagine if they hadn't come up, they've got no traction, nobody's come to them. The last day, Dave or Luke needs to be such a target.
Yeah.
To try and make sure...
Slam all the votes on one person.
Slam all the votes,
yeah.
So they only blow one idol, not 2.
Yeah.
That's the next strat. I didn't see him talk about that.
The only problem is they kind of knew there was one idol floating around there.
And, look, they knew who had it too, Dave.
Yeah, and then comes the one little aspect of, like, do we throw it on Dave or do we throw it towards, like, who do we throw the vote to? Because we don't know where they're going to play the idol.
Exactly.
And they try. There's that double bluff game that goes
on. Of course. But that was the other strategy. They can just try and put it on one person.
But great that Andy... Andy loses me in these 2 episodes. Especially in this episode.
The first one. He loses me in the first one.
For someone who is a super fan, to come in and have... I don't care that you wanted to go 7 strong. What I do care about is the fact that you didn't also have a second avenue. You didn't have a plan B and go, look, I'm going to tell everyone 7 strong.
Well, listen,
but I'm going to take these 2 votes and bring them onto mine.
Andy, in episode 7, goes, I'm a genius.
Yeah, he said it was a genius strategy.
And it's a genius strategy. I'm like, Andy, you've got 7 versus 2. There's nothing genius about it. It's just you've got the numbers.
Yeah,
that's all.
There is no strategy. There's 0 strategy. It's not a genius strategy. It's really frustrating from a super fan to hear a super fan say that it's a genius strategy. I'm like, you've done nothing. There's no strategy here at all, and you've left yourself wide open for the 2 people who want to stay alive to do something. You're just lucky that for some reason they opted for Sam. Oh, well, actually, no, because other people also wanted to get rid of Sam. But Andy was an easy get.
Yeah, no, but look...
I would have gone for Andy easily.
But
it wasn't needed.
This is what I wanted to contrast with the other team, right? You've got Luke and Dave who have come over. They don't care about champions. They're just concerned with getting on with... Like, that's gone. That's done for them.
And it's gone as soon as you get cast.
Exactly, right?
Like, play it up for a bit, but it's about you.
But the real people I want to talk about in this episode are John, Daisy, and Baden. Right? They could easily have done the very easy thing, 7-2, really safe vote. But here's 3 people who you wouldn't expect, like John. I always expect him to just be a numbers guy, right?
John's great.
Yeah, I'll just go, yeah, you guys want to vote? Yeah, I'll go with that, right?
Yeah.
Well, I love him, but I mean, I never thought he'd put much thought into it, right? But here, these 3 have sit there and gone, where do we sit?
And
This
here's
is
the
our
thing.
opportunity.
So, in a lot of the promos for John, from what I discovered, or from what I can remember, John doesn't watch Survivor. He's not a fan of the show. He heard about it, and it's a bit of an adventure for him, and he's a great guy. So this is a guy coming in with no idea about the game other than the fact that people lie, cheat, and steal sort of concept. And in one of his things, he goes, look, I'm a pretty good bloke, but people are going to lie and cheat and stuff, so I better be used to doing lying and cheating as well.
Absolutely.
And he's embraced that and taken a chance. For a person who, from what I know, isn't a huge Survivor fan, to go, I'm just going to take 2 votes, or I'm going to go this side because why not? When you have someone who's clearly upset with Baden for never have seen all 20 years of the Survivor that have passed, not manage to use 2 free votes.
I know. But what I like about this is, look, neither Daisy nor John nor Baden, it really came across to me as people who were going to branch out. They always looked like people who would stick in the crowd.
Well, this is the great thing with Daisy, isn't it? Daisy's loyalty was Sean and John, and Sean was her number 1 loyalty. Yeah. And when Andy screwed over Sean's trust,
I know. But what I like, this goes back to that thing about information, right? Andy, you know about the idol. Don't just blurt it out to the whole tribe, because then it's not
information anymore.
Yeah, it's not information. Everybody knows. What are you going to use it to do?
You've blown your opportunity to use power to your advantage.
Exactly. So, but anyway, and it's backfired, because then Daisy said it and got, okay.
Hang on, that was not yours to tell. And also, why say that information there when Sean's not even on the tribe anymore? It's irrelevant that Sean currently has an idol or not.
All he had to do was say, if you had been smart about it, all he had to do was say, Dave's got an idol. And they had said, how do you know? Well, Dave showed Sean, and Sean told me. Yeah. That's all he has to say. He showed him. He had to pick it up in the last challenge. He showed him to Sean.
Yeah, they had to work together or something like that. Yeah, just come up with something better than just give up all the information. Because information is so much power, but when you use that power and just abuse it, it becomes worthless.
But anyway, look, here's 3 players who have sat there, not particularly Baden, but certainly Daisy and John, have sat there and gone, well, we can just rock with the 7. And that gives us, where's it get us? Where does it get us, you know? And they've decided, no, we're going. But this is where they've decided we can take control. We can take. Why have Andy tell us who to vote for when we can? This is great thinking. This is
amazing thinking.
This is people who actually want to win the game. They're not just along for a ride.
And it's
great. You never see
that. Was really rare, and I really enjoyed the fact that happened. I enjoyed the fact that Luke and Dave didn't have to burn their idols.
Exactly.
The fact that they found this crack, and the 3 of them jumped across. I'm just really annoyed and frustrated with someone who just because of his claims of genius strategy.
Oh, no,
that just really frustrates the hell out of me as a fan. To have someone say it's such a genius strategy, I'm like, there's no strategy at all here. It's just the numbers, and you haven't even gone. The biggest amount of power you can have is take the person on the bottom and make them feel welcome.
Well, I think in the next episode, in episode 8, after Sammy goes home, you really start to see the weakness of Andy, right?
Oh, hopeless.
Because it was kind of a little cringy when Andy was sitting down with Dave and saying, I was looking out for you. I was making sure that they all voted for Luke.
Shut up, man.
And I was like, shut up. Dave can spot this. I can see.
It's horrible. It's a scramble. It's
terrible scramble.
What it is you thought you had all the power and now you've got no power.
And it looks so insincere. That was the problem with it. You don't have to be a genius to listen to Andy and go, sure, you're watching out for me, buddy. Yeah. You're so sincere about it, you know?
It's just such a frustrating thing to watch. Yeah, it was so cringeworthy. And the fact is, you lost that power.
Exactly.
Because there was 2 people at the bottom that you decided to ignore.
Exactly.
Never ignore the people at the bottom, because sooner or later the people at the bottom end up getting in with someone who's already in the bottom of their group to gain power.
Right.
And where do you end up? You end up powerless.
I think it's a great move by John. So I'm looking at John and Daisy going forward and thinking to myself, and hopefully Baden go, you're smart enough to realise that he's on a good thing there, right? I think they're going to, if they can keep at it through merge, they're going to be real players. That's going to be great. But then Sarah has said something to the camera, and this is really amazing to hear. And she's supposed to have watched Survivor, as you know, right?
Oh, I can't remember if she'd watched Survivor.
I think she's supposed to. But Sarah says Daisy has flipped, right?
And she's so angry. She wants revenge.
But Daisy has flipped for her own gain. That was her criticism.
Oh, yeah. I was like, this is about your own... This whole show. Why are you here?
What is she supposed to do? Flip for your gain?
That's not how Survivor works. I'm like, what do you mean her own gain? Yeah. You should have been doing that yourself. Everything you should be doing should be for your gain.
Right?
That's what this show's about.
It was such an incredible thing to come out. And I was like, what is she talking to? And then, this is the other problem I've got with Sarah and... what's the other one? Hannah?
Hannah. I thought Hannah was on the other side.
So over here, Andy talking. Andy's got no idea how to play this game. He's sitting down in the hut talking to Daisy. Normal volume, right? Yeah. About, we're going to get rid of Sarah or Hannah.
Sarah wants to get rid of you, Daisy.
Yeah, that's right.
Because that was... But this is my thing. Okay, Sarah comes in... Firstly, we have this, Sarah being really pissed off at Daisy. Yeah. But then what does Sarah do? Sarah goes the revenge tactic. We need to flip and get rid of Daisy.
This is the problem I have with Sarah. What does Sarah do about this? She goes to Luke and Dave and I forget the other person who was staying there. Right, Baden, I think it was. Right, something like that. Yeah. Oh, Andy was just talking about my name or telling me that I wanted to get rid of Daisy. And they're all like,
that's after the moment.
Yeah, but this is terrible. Right? But I love Dave and Luke. Oh, wow, that's not on, is it? But they're probably sitting there. They were great. They're like, we're definitely going to vote Andy now, right? But they're sitting in their mind probably
doesn't matter who they vote because it's no longer they are thought of as targets.
And that's what I love about this is where Luke and Dave's play is coming out, right? As they said themselves on the beach, The contenders are feuding themselves.
We don't, and I love, and I really like this about. So we've jumped a little bit before I wanted to get to. But I loved when they were talking about this. Luke's talking to Dave, and what I love is Luke talks like this. And he's not even moving his lips. Beautiful. Whereas you have Andy in the thing, just there, just chilling out like this, and then he's just talking, like I said, loud as anything. And Sarah's just right in front of his eye line. And then what does he say to Daisy? She's behind you.
She's behind you.
It's Daisy's fault for talking. No, mate.
It's yours.
You're an idiot.
You saw her walk up.
You're a fool. You're not aware. But then, when she...
But all I wanted to do was bring up that Sarah goes to the people who are voting against her and tries to say to them, Andy's playing the game, and that's bad.
We got to get rid of him.
Well,
in a degree, if someone's more strategically on top of it than you are, you want to get rid of them.
But what I mean is, all Dave and Luke would have heard is, Andy wants you out.
You want Andy out.
You want Andy out.
Easy.
It's not a crime.
Yep. Nah, doesn't
We're
matter
just
going to
pick.
Yeah, we'll go with whichever one we want to go with.
Exactly. All they're hearing is pick time, 50-50.
All they're hearing is, we won't take our idols tonight.
Exactly. That's right.
There is not a chance now. You guys have self-imploded with one vote and fallen to pieces, and now we're just laughing.
But, Sarah takes Hannah off to the beach and goes, we've got to do something. We've got to shake this up. And I'm like, okay, this is good, right? And then her plan was, we're going to get rid of
Daisy.
Daisy, right? And I'm like...
Because she's angry at Daisy for...
Yeah, but how?
Yeah.
Right?
Just by appealing to... Because now you don't have the numbers clearly.
Yeah, right? And I'm like, there's two of you. Who are you going to get?
Yeah, and you've got... And then two of you plus Andy, who's already gone, shit, I've lost power. I'm going to try and schmooze my way into power.
And that's what I mean. I never saw any moves after that about going and talking to Luke or going and talking to Dave about, hey, look, what about we get rid of Daisy or, we get rid of Andy or something, right?
Now, the votes on... Again, it's irrelevant for Dave and it's irrelevant for Luke here who went home.
No.
And Dave said, look, I don't care. Usually you want to get rid of the head of the snake when the snake's going to bite.
But when the snake is
harmless. When the snake is harmless, it can slither around. It can do whatever it wants.
I think Dave's saying a really good point here, right? Is that Andy is obviously trying to be the head of the snake.
Yeah.
Without any substance behind him, right? Keeping somebody around like that's great because you always know where they're at.
Until they can do something.
But that's his point. They can't at the moment.
At the moment. So what do you reckon? Like, and again, it's irrelevant in the end.
No, I think in one sense
who they should have got rid of.
I don't think it really matters. Look.
Again, I don't think it matters too much. But there's one thing that I think does matter. And you know what? I've talked about this quite often. And I think we've discussed that concept of, you know, me.
Yeah.
The whole time. Mm. Dave had an opportunity here to go, who do you want out? Because it was irrelevant.
Oh yeah,
but he still kept trying to keep that power. I just think it would have been a subtler and smarter move for Dave, and I think it came up in the Tribal Council where he said, "Yeah, I'm just, you know, my alliance wanted this person," rather than kind of take control of that vote. I think that was a perfect opportunity to step back and let a Daisy and John lead that
who they want.
Because either, cool. We know Andy and Sarah are going at each other. Which one do you want?
Yeah, which one do you
want? Sarah's heart, we know Daisy doesn't like Andy at the moment from lack of trust. And keeps spilling the beans. If she went, I want to get rid of Andy. If I was Dave, I would have gone, yeah, sweet, we'll do what you want to do. Just so she feels safer.
Look, if it had come down to the wire for me, even though it looks like coin flip, I probably, on further reflection, would have chosen Andy to go home.
I would have, yeah.
For one reason and one reason only. Daisy knows that Sarah's put her name out. That's a source of conflict that Andy doesn't have with Daisy, right? Which means Daisy and Hannah aren't going to get together with John and Daisy. Sorry, Sarah and Hannah aren't going to get together with Daisy and John. That split continues, right? Which means from Luke and Dave's point of view, that's where if those four are always going to be on the opposite side, then I have the opportunity to just flip backwards and forwards, whichever way I need to go.
And I just think Andy...
Whereas Andy's not going to get him anything.
Andy's not going to gain anything, but the only thing Andy can do is somehow learn how to play quickly. Because he does... He has watched the show. We know, and I believe it. I believe he's watched the show.
No, but this is the other thing I wanted to go on to, really, at the end of the day, and this is what I wanted to contrast, was how unprepared were the contenders for Tribal. Like, look at this split. They've got 7-2 because they've only had one Tribal. Look, this is what they've walked into. Like, basically, Luke and Dave are old hands at this, and they are playing at a different level to these guys. These guys are still wandering around going, what's going on?
It's so easy. But it shouldn't... That's what, it's frustrating, because it shouldn't be like that from Andy.
I know.
That shouldn't be that... you should have some sort of knowledge with what to be doing after watching the show for 20 years, watching almost 40 seasons of this thing in America, and if you've watched any of the other seasons from different countries,
I think Andy
should know.
I think Andy's just guilty of he's so. Let's just say, I'm not saying he's not a super fan. Let's just say he is so. He's so aware of all the strategy. He's watched every season. He thinks he knows them backwards. There's a bit of a difference though between knowing and putting into practice.
Yeah. And
putting into practice is like 90% of the game.
Because and we go to their first Tribal where Andy's also talking about how genius his plan is, but don't worry, he's got a few tricks up his sleeve for Tribal.
And I'm like,
what was it? He just whispered to John to vote Luke and cause it. That almost backfired in his face. Like when he did that, everyone started freaking the hell out because they've never been to Tribal, and all of his actual alliance was like, "What the hell's going on?"
Yeah,
and he had to go. It's all the same.
Yeah, I know.
Don't worry,
guys.
You
have to tell two people over here. No, it's 100%. Yeah. It's all still the same.
It's like he literally had a match and just lit the whole thing on fire and then tried to put out the fire. He's like, "This is going to be good," and it in flames.
So pointless. So pointless to do that. It was really pointless.
No.
And what I loved is Dave and Luke are just sitting there. Dave and Luke really had to act during that Tribal to be like, we know we're going home, even though all this shenanigans. But one of the other things I love about Dave is Dave loves the smile at Tribal.
Yeah.
He's a big smiling guy at Tribal. And I've loved it because he keeps saying I'm in control and he keeps not going home.
Yeah, well, he is. He is in control. And it's so easy to be in control with a bunch of nitwits.
I know, and this is unfortunate, the thing is, but that nitwitism of that 7 comes from not going to Tribal. Yeah. If they had gone to Tribal twice more, there would no way be put. It would not have been this bad.
Well, like I said, we've got Daisy and John and Baden. If Baden seems to be on the slight outs, but we've got Daisy and John who've taken an opportunity. That's what this game's about. Survivor's about opportunities and taking them.
They took it. Now they're in top.
But the others did not, and now they have nothing.
And Sarah's angry about it because look, at one level, I think Sarah's anger is part of it is simply they did what I couldn't.
Yeah.
Now they're on top.
And I have nothing.
And I have nothing. That's all it is. It's really just a bit of anger about that. But yeah, look, kudos to really for me the big players in these episodes, despite Luke and Dave, right? Are John and Daisy.
John and Daisy for taking it, but that's the thing. It's like we saw it in episode 6, was it?
Yeah.
An opportunity was there to be taken. Did not
get taken.
Dave, in my eyes, could have easily gone home then because he was full of arrogance. Wouldn't have seen it coming.
Exactly.
Wouldn't have played his idol because he's on top of the world.
And when you got
right
Abby
now.
sitting there crying to 2 other women that she doesn't want to choose Blacky or
don't.
ET, in that
Don't
case,
choose them.
Right?
If you want to play with them, play with them.
Play with them.
So easy.
Yeah.
An opportunity missed. Coming into the next episode, Andy, who is a super fan, misses a huge opportunity, but Daisy and John take it.
Exactly.
Put themselves in a really great position.
Right.
And on top of that, Daisy, as we see in the end of episode 8, has a quick, next time on the episode, Sean mentions to Daisy that Dave gave him a fake idol. I mean, it's taken like what is it, 2 days before trials in Australia? 2, 4, 6. It's taken almost 8 days for Sean to realise he's been given a fakie.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
But because she has such strong ties...
I'm not too against that because he did find the paper with it. Like, he did have the paper. So
that's true. But I would have taken that... find a chance to look at it a bit earlier on and be like, just because I want one.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely.
But the fact that she has ties with Sean on the other tribe, which is great, gives her strength because she is in with Dave. If she wants to flip on Dave, she can.
Yeah, exactly.
She can because she's in the power. She's in the powerful alliance. That's when you can use an Andy, or if Sarah was there, plus a Hannah to your advantage and bring them on and jump against the 2 guys.
Look, you've got Andy, right? If he's a super fan, you should know one thing, right? You should find somebody to play with. Andy has found no one.
No.
And look at Dave
because he wants to be the head honcho.
But this is the thing, though. You've got to find someone to play with.
You've got to have something. Like I said, we always talk at least a 2. You want a 2,
right? But look at Dave and Daisy and John.
Daisy and John.
Right.
Dave and Luke.
Let's play together. Yep, sure. Let's do that. Let's pull in Baden. Oh, boom.
Yeah, we got it. And I mean, Luke did this in the first time he played with Jericho.
Yeah, exactly.
Bang, got my person. Exactly. I'm working with them. He's done it again. Dave. Working with him. Work with someone because it's better to have someone who's got your back.
Absolutely. It's hard to find.
It's hard to find, but you've got to want that. Like, yes, obviously there's an element of trust that can't be there, but those 2 look like they're going to go pretty strongly together. To me,
Andy, I look at Andy, I see somebody who hasn't built any relationships.
No.
Any relationships. It's more about, I'm a free vote.
Well, it's more about, I know the game better than you. Yeah. Watch how good I am at this game.
Watch how good I am. But what I mean is, that's what I mean, it's watch how good I am, but it ended up being, I'm just a vote.
Well, yeah, it ended up, because he put himself into that situation. Yeah, he's nothing.
He keeps saying, I'm going to play this game. But you're just a vote. You haven't played.
But he had an opportunity. That tribe swap was the ultimate opportunity. Absolutely. And it wasn't taken.
That was a time when he could have looked at the 7 and gone, well, I don't really want to play with any of you. I'm hopping on with Dave and Luke, and let's see who can drag across.
Just more along the lines of I'll keep those 7 thinking they're strong while I'm going to start to play the game and have multiple things happening
exactly, at once. But what I mean is, this is the thing. He could have gone and talked to Luke and Dave, but did you see him do that? No. Right?
He's like, we're all together. What he tried to do
pull Sam and Sarah aside and go, let's make this blah blah. Nope.
He was trying to do a Dave and Wendell?
Yeah.
Trying to keep the tribe... Navidi strong. He was trying to do that, but...
It doesn't work unless you're on top. And that's what I mean. What I mean is, Andy didn't really seem to have any pull with these people. They were all just going to go along with the 7 idea anyway.
Just because the numbers and because a contender needs to win this season. Yeah. But you know what? A contender will win if a contender has the courage to go, I can win this game with anyone. Not having to be contender strong. Exactly. Have to go, cool, I can use and abuse.
That's the other element. That's the other element I want to talk about here after the split, because it's quite a contrast with the Contenders tribe now, right? You've got Dave and Luke over there who obviously have to work with people, right? But there you go. In the Contenders tribe, you've got 2 people and 3 with Baden, right? Who are quite willing to jump lines.
Oh, they're on the champs now.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is they weren't staying with the old Contenders. They're like, no, it's about our... This is what you need more. if you walk into Survivor and you got that mindset of like, I'm sticking with my group, you're not making it to 3. Or if you do make it to 3, you're the GOAT.
Yeah.
Right? These people have realised, no, I've got to make my move. They've made their move. Good on them for doing it.
100%. And that was a great thing to see. But it was just a bit frustrating to watch. It's just frustrating to watch someone who claims so much and should...
Well, it's not just he claims. He can actually produce, because when you see him in the challenges, clearly he's practicing
He's practicing things that are needed to be practiced.
Exactly. I mean, I'm going to bet if he goes to a fire challenge...
He could probably make fire.
He's probably going to be pretty good at making fire, right?
Yeah.
But as to the strategic side, this is what I mean. I could say to him, how did Sarah win season 36 of Survivor? And he could probably tell me.
Yeah, probably. He can.
She swung and she managed to pacify both sides and blah, 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 blah. Can you do it, Andy? Yes, I can do it. But when they put him in the situation, I don't think you'd pull it out.
He has no idea.
He has no idea.
No idea when an opportunity is in front of him.
Exactly. So that's pretty much it for our.
That's it for me as well, really. I just had my hand. I'm so frustrated at it.
Oh, actually, one other thing I'd like to say at this stage is I think Dave and John and Baden, Daisy, John and Baden, if they're switched on, right, they should get rid of Dave next vote if they.
And we said that as soon as someone thinks they're on the chopping block, as soon as someone thinks they're in control of everything. Yeah. Edit seems to give us that, and they've only got a few more episodes left. So Dave's time.
No, the only reason I'm saying that is because if you look at the numbers,
100%.
Right, you've got Daisy, John, and Baden, right?
Yeah.
Then you've got Hannah and
Andy,
right? And then on the other side you've got Luke and Dave, right?
So you've got the 2-2.
Yeah. So you've got the 2-2. I think it would be much because they know Dave's got an idol.
Yeah.
Thanks, Andy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Thanks, Andy. They should get rid of Dave by complete blindsiding. They should pull in Hannah and Andy, right? Get rid of Dave.
Yeah.
Then that leaves Luke, right? Then they should pull in Luke for the next vote. Get rid of Andy 100%. And Hannah, and then they're in control.
They should be doing that.
That's what
Let's hope that happens.
Yeah. Let's hope so. Well, I don't hope so actually, because I want to see Dave actually make it.
Well, I want to see Dave and Luke go far, but like I said, I think Dave's played really well as far as Australian season standard goes.
To get away with the arrogance he has displayed so far,
which wouldn't happen in American Survivor.
I know, but to get away with it,
yeah, kudos,
and still be running the game on one of the islands, that's pretty good.
Yeah, so he's and I like the fact that he's a villain. Without a Dave and a Luke. I think they bring a lot of personality to the show.
A lot.
A Dave, a Luke, a John. These are characters. Look, I guess Matt's outspoken and he's loud and he makes a splash. But those 3 characters there are really enjoyable. I actually don't mind Daisy either. There's some people we haven't seen.
Look, the good thing about Daisy is she looked like just a follower.
Yeah.
But boom, out. When the chips are down. Boom, she's just gone, this is what I need to do. Boom.
And she's also, but it comes out of, which I don't mind, it comes out of loyalty as well to her. Yeah, she's closer with.
I've got no worries with it, but she's, both her and John have sat there, and you could see that they weren't, especially in council, you could see they were really nervous, right, about what they do. But they knew they had to make a move.
Yeah.
And they made it.
It's great.
Yeah. If it had failed, well,
Well, you took a chance.
You took a chance.
And it wasn't your name anyway.
That's right. But that's what I mean. They've taken their chance. They've won. Good.
Yeah. It's always good to take a chance like that when your name isn't on the chopping block as well. So it's...
exactly.
Yes, it does put you on the back foot next time round. But if it pays off, you're in a far better position. And if it doesn't pay off, you're still not in a... You're just lower on the pecking order. But you can mend that bridge.
Well, the good thing is now they've got one under their belt.
Yeah.
Which means going forward, they should be still thinking that way, which is
exactly. And that's what you want to be doing. Because once, this, the pre-merge is when you're preparing how to play the game.
Exactly. Because
when you're starting to learn how to build a regime.
We say in this show, if you think you're going to just make it to merge, then I'll start making my moves, you're never going to make them.
Yeah, they'll be too little too late. You won't know how to do it, and people are already one step ahead of you.
Exactly.
And Daisy and John took the right thing, and Baden also took the right decision.
Exactly. I think this is a big evolution for Baden.
Yeah.
I think it's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Well, I hope not, but I have a feeling Dave's not far away from going.
Oh, I hope not, but look, I'd just like to see a villain make it to final five.
Just to get villain going through.
Exactly.
Because we just haven't had a villain, and I don't believe anyone else other than Dave right now is our villain. He's great.
None Who else there could be a villain?
Well,
no one.
like I said, Andy and Harry keep saying they're villains.
But that's what I mean. I keep hearing they're villains. I don't see their villains.
Yeah, you don't need someone to come and say how much they're going to be a villain.
Like, let's consider this. Harry's lie compared to Johnny Fairplay's lie. It's
kind
of in the same ballpark.
Yeah,
but
it's it's Lite. It's Johnny Fairplay Lite.
Lite. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Johnny Fairplay Lite.
But this is the thing though. Like when the season first started, there is no way that I picked Dave to be the villain.
No.
The other two claimed, they came out and they did their one-on-ones. Their confessionals were all about, I'm going to shake the game. I'm going to be the villain. I'm here. I'm a super fan, and I'm going to rip the game to shreds. The talk. Dave's just coming in and playing the game.
Playing the game and doing it.
And now he's turned out to be the villain through his gameplay. I want an idol. This is how I can get it.
Yep.
Janine's, I found power. No, my power was knowing that Janine had an idol that needs to go to Contenders.
Yeah.
And that all of a sudden I know Sean has it. How do I get that idol?
Yeah.
Beautiful. That's a great use of power. Knowledge is power.
Oh, absolutely. Look,
whereas knowledge is power for Andy.
If he hadn't had the information from Janine, he couldn't have made that move.
No.
But with that information, all of a sudden it's like opened up for him the possibility, and I can't believe he got it. Like, that was Janine's idol. And he's like, do you mind if I do? Oh, no, here's the paper. I'm like,
you're an idiot, Janine.
You're an idiot.
But good on him. And look, it probably will backfire for him eventually.
Well, listen, he does, let's put it this way, unless his arrogance gets in the way, right? He does have an idol. He could survive.
That's the thing. It's like it can backfire in the fact that he'll just have to use his idol when he wouldn't have needed to. And using an idol 1 week doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be the next one on the chopping block next week or the next one. Because a lot happens in 48 hours.
Absolutely.
Unless you're like Rick from last season, who just had to be voted out. You had to have an idol. Bang, bang, bang. That's later on in the game. Early on, before merge, yeah, sure. If they want to get you 1 week, they might not want to get you the next tribal.
Well, a lot of the times it doesn't. Like you said, it's really unusual to have a situation like that Rick was in, where he actually did need an idol back to back to back.
Yeah.
Right? It's really unusual for a player to be in that situation.
And I just don't see, it could backfire in the fact that he'll have to use the idol when because they just... Yeah. Okay, well, now the idol's gone, he's no longer a target.
But look, hopefully he's a good enough player, he can sit there, use his idol, and take out...
And be smart enough to go find another one.
Or, but take out who he wants to take out, and then go find another one and go...
But I don't know, it'd be interesting, because that one is one from the other tribe. Maybe, I don't know how that'll come out, and that'll work. We'll see.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've said bye 3 times now. This is officially the end.
See you later. Have a good one.